Hey YouTube, Jay again. Today we're going to learn the figure 8 bend. Figure 8 bend? No, not bend, help. You know what, since I brought it up anyways, I'll show you the figure 8 bend first. So, if you've seen my other videos, I've already taught you how to tie the figure 8, right? You can either, you make your loop, then instead of going down through it like you would for an overhand, you go behind it, and you see the shape of your figure 8 coming in there, makes a knot. One thing I forgot to show in the original video was that another way you can do it is to pick the rope up, twist it once and twice. And those two twists should be enough that you just bring the rope directly through it and you have your figure 8 knot. Sorry, I'm not sure where this camera is pointed exactly, so I'm going to do that one more time. Have your rope in your hand, going to turn it once, twice, bring the rope up through it, and you'll see it form to a figure 8. So, in order to do the figure 8 bend, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a figure 8 loosely, very loosely, and close to the end of the rope here. All I'm going to do is run this other rope. I'm just going to trace the figure 8 in the opposite direction. So I'm going to come kind of in here. It looks like it comes out and around. Then it comes over here. It just runs side by side with the figure 8 you already tied. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but you know, whatever. Comes back around. And looks like it then just exits. So you just trace the knot backwards. And as you'll see, once you pull it tight, you end up with your standard figure 8. Standard figure 8, 2 pigtails, 2 working ends there, and a main line. This is a great, very secure knot to use, but my biggest caveat to you is that it's very difficult to untie once done. Anyways, I was going to teach you how to tie the figure 8 loop. So this is a knot that I use quite a bit. In order to tie the figure 8 loop, you're going to put the line beside itself. So you've got essentially a double line. And then I like to kind of come around my finger, and then instead of tying the regular overhand where you go straight through, you come behind the knot and up through like that. Gives you a good solid figure 8 knot. This is used by a lot of climbers. 1 loop on the end. Simple, simple. So that can also be done by the standard twist once, twist twice, and bring the knot through. Right? So there's your figure 8. I'm trying to show it one more time against the black background. There is another variant I have of this, so stay tuned to this video. It's going to be here in just 1 second. But yeah, so figure 8 bend. You're going to make your loop. Then instead of going directly through like you would for an overhand knot, you're going to come behind the line and pull it back up through. And that leaves you with a figure 8 knot and a loop on the end. The variant that you'll see used in my tent and hammock video is, I'm going to get a lot of extra line out for this. So you create your loop. We're going to create the loop farther down here. And you tie it as if you're trying to tie a slip knot. So instead of, I normally would take the loop over like this and then pass it up through itself. But instead of passing it up through, I'm going to pass the middle part up through as if it were a slip. And I'm going to leave this part hanging outside. So if I can do this on the table properly where you can see it. So looks like a figure 8, right? But this time I have 2 loops in the end. And I have this slip here. Well, because of this slip, this knot will never work. So what I need to do is I'll shrink those loops a little bit. I need to pass the slip over the knot and then use these 2 loops to pull it back up underneath itself right there. Boom. So the nice thing about this is that gives you your figure 8 knot, gives you 2 loops instead of 1 for either added strength or for 2 separate purposes. And then at the end of the day, because figure 8s do bind up pretty tight, when you do need to get it untied, it's a little easier because all you have to do is bend the rope backwards and pull like I said, it's basically a slip. You just pull that bottom rung and it may get hard on the end, but once you pull it all the way out, your knot just dissolves and you're back to the regular stuff. Thanks for watching.